Welcome to the Light Seekers Lounge. I'm Annie Love, and this is episode 108. Over the past few months, I've shared a few different interviews with you that have centered around money. In episode 97, you met Claire Wood, and we chatted about her journey to becoming a money mentor, creating intentional profit in business, what money mindset is, and all about manifestation, and how Claire has attracted some pretty amazing things into her life. In episode 101, I chatted with Amy Bett around mastering money, managing cash flow, and her business journey, including a failed business which led her into the Profit First method. Then in our most recent episode, number 107, I introduced you to Tara Winters, who went from a corporate accounting career to becoming a money and spirituality coach. Tara has a really soulful approach to money, and we talked about how our upbringing can impact our money stories. If you haven't listened to all of these episodes yet, please go back and have a listen at some stage. I'll link the episodes in the show notes. I think it's really important for us to talk about money and remove the shame and the stigma of discussing finances. So I love hearing these three incredible women talking about their perspectives and stories around money. And I'm sure I'll share more interviews in the future. In today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit more about money stories and how our patterns and thoughts around money can be playing out in our lives without us even realizing it. Hello, fellow seeker of light, and welcome to the Light Seekers Lounge. I'm Annie Love, and I'm a certified coach for incredible humans who want to build wholehearted businesses. I help them master their mindset, create simple strategies, and take meaningful action towards their goals in a soul-nourishing way that honours their business, their family, and most importantly, themselves. I'm also a wife and a mum to 3 gorgeous boys. Our parenting journey has been, well, a bit of a roller coaster. And while our family has navigated some pretty tumultuous times, I've learned just how important it is to keep seeking the light and the joy. Even in the midst of darkness, I believe that we can find light on the other side, even if the landscape is different to how we expected it to look. Here in the Light Seekers Lounge, we're going to share stories and conversations about how we create our best life, even when things feel hard. Thank you for being a light seeker with me. I am so glad you're here. Now, let's get on with the show. As a background to this conversation, in case I haven't mentioned this lately, earlier this year I became certified as a Profit First professional. So I've now added to my coaching toolkit the ability to help my clients assess their financial position and create some really simple management strategies around money in their business so they can feel calmer and empowered in their finances and use those numbers to make better decisions. Profit First is a method based on the book by Mike Michalowicz. And after implementing it in my business and feeling so much more empowered in my finances, I knew it was something I wanted to be able to share with clients. So I joined the amazing Profit First community, launched into study, and became a certified PFP in March 2023. So that's just a little bit of context for you, I guess, in the way that I am now thinking about money and talking about money a little bit more. This week I had a coaching session with a client and we delved into her business and personal expenses. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that I came to you and asked to see your bank statements from the past 3 months. Would you say, sure, rattle off your current bank balances and proudly whip out a few statements for me at the drop of a hat? Or would you slink off, worried about what I might find, feel a little bit judged and hope you don't get asked again? Or perhaps you're somewhere in the middle. I think money can hold so much shame, discomfort, and embarrassment for many people, which is interesting, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, money is simply an object like a coin or a dollar bill or numbers on a screen. It's data, it's information, but the meaning that we attribute to that money can be so loaded, can't it? Now, back to my client, she was ready and willing to look at her numbers, but the conversation did, in all honesty, become quite emotional and uncomfortable as we discovered that she's currently going a little bit backwards and spending more than she's earning. However, as they say, knowledge is power, and when we know where we're at, when we have the right information, we can make decisions about the next steps to take. She sent me a message later thanking me for having that uncomfortable conversation with her and said she's now feeling so much more at peace with her financial position and excited about the changes she's going to make. And it reminds me a little bit of that. I think I'm going to butcher it. There's a quote by Brene Brown, which is basically around like when we shine a light on something that we feel shame around, it loses its power. We all think about money in different ways. We have different beliefs, attitudes, feelings towards money. We have different money narratives, different kind of thoughts running around in our heads, different stories about money. And this is often referred to as our money stories. They are often shaped by our past experiences, our family upbringing, our cultural influences, and our personal values. And they can play a really big role in shaping our financial behaviour and decision making. But our money stories can be playing out from our subconscious mind. Often our money stories are playing out from our subconscious mind and influencing our decisions and our actions without us even realising what those money stories are. You might see money stories playing out in different ways in the world in your financial habits and behaviours, such as how you save, how you spend, how you budget, whether you invest. Some of us may have money stories that lead us to be frugal. When we're saving money, we're hiding it away, while others might have stories that encourage overspending. Have a think about a friend you have who always insists on splitting the bill down to individual items consumed when you have dinner together at a restaurant. Or perhaps you have a friend who always wants to cover the whole bill for the whole table when you go out. Even if they're not conscious of their money stories, they are making these decisions for a reason. There's some money stories playing out there. I mentioned this in my conversation with Tara in episode 107, but I grew up in a big household of 7 children, 2 parents and a grandparent living in our home. I always felt really well looked after. We always had plenty of food on the table. We went to Catholic schools. We had what we needed, but there wasn't a lot of luxury in our world. There was definitely most of my clothes were hand-me-downs, which I was okay with. I used to look forward to getting to that next age bracket that meant that I could pull the next box of hand-me-down clothes down. But it was kind of cool when I did occasionally get my own brand new clothes. So there also wasn't a great deal of discussion around strategies with money, such as saving or investing in our household. Well, there certainly wasn't with me anyway. So when I was old enough to get a job as a teenager, I pretty much spent every dollar I earned on things like fun clothes and shoes. And I think that story played out for quite a while in my life. If there was money in the bank, it was to be spent. And it was rare for a paycheck to stretch until the next payday. I think that's why Profit First appeals to me so much, because when we allocate funds into various bank accounts to cover profit, expenses, owners paying taxes, and anything else that you want to create a bank account for, we know we've always got enough when we need it. Just as another example of another money story, I remember meeting my husband Ben and perceiving that his family was way wealthier than mine, which wasn't necessarily accurate, but I remember feeling quite uncomfortable and conscious of that for a while. I don't like to look on money stories as being good or bad, but some money stories can simply be more empowering, while others may limit our financial success. Our money stories can include beliefs about our worthiness to earn, save, or invest money. For example, you might have an underlying money story that tells you you're not deserving of financial success, and therefore you find it really hard to charge for the work that you do. You might find yourself giving big discounts, or giving things away for free, or procrastinating when sending invoices to clients. Money stories often involve fears or feelings of scarcity, which might lead you to make financial decisions out of fear of not having enough or losing what you might have. So, like making a purchase for a short-term gain rather than making an investment that might have a bigger payoff over a longer period of time. Money stories can reflect personal values and priorities, influencing how money is allocated to various aspects of life, such as family, experiences, or charitable donations. You might really value travel and adventure and want to invest your money in regular holidays with your family, but someone else might see travel as a luxury spend and prefer to spend money on household expenses or improvements to the house. Money stories might shape your perception of what it means to be wealthy or successful. For some, you might measure success through financial achievements, while others might define it a bit differently. Maybe it's about how much time freedom they have. Some people might feel wealthy with $1,000 in the bank, while others might feel poor unless they have $100,000 in the bank. Whatever your money stories, it can be really powerful to start uncovering them because you'll gain so much insight into why you make the financial decisions you do. It will allow you to recognize and challenge the limiting beliefs you do have and start creating new empowering narratives around money that better align with your financial goals and your values. By examining and reshaping your money stories, you can make more informed and intentional financial choices. If you're a partnership in business or in a relationship, good chance you'll also have different perspectives on money than your partner, and there's work to do there as well if you want to be on the same page. Money can be such a huge stressor in relationships. So if you can be aware of the money stories you have and your partner has developed over your lives, it's a great starting point to creating a more harmonious future together. The work around money isn't a one and done deal. It's a constant work in progress, and we might have to confront and up-level our stories at various stages of our life and business journey. I remember first learning about money stories probably, 15 years ago or more, and doing a short course on it. Since then, I've done more learning and read books and listened to podcasts, and I don't think I'll ever stop needing to do the work and re-examining my money stories. This is a big topic, and there is so much we could explore around money, and I don't want to overwhelm you by covering too much in this episode, but I hope it's given you something to think about, some insights into what money stories might be playing out in your life without you even realizing it. So I invite you to start thinking about your money stories, not from a place of judgment, just a place of curiosity. Grab a journal, make a cup of tea, and just write a list of what you remember about money from your childhood. What did you learn about money from your parents or your carers? What kind of conversations did you have about money in your household when you were growing up? Or was money not talked about at all? How did your parents talk about rich people? Did it feel like you had enough money in your family? Were you struggling? Or did you feel wealthy growing up? I think it's really interesting to take a walk down memory lane and realize where some of our money stories come from. If you do this exercise and have any aha moments, I'd love you to come and send me a DM on Instagram or join the Light Seekers Lounge Facebook group and chat to me in there. And also, if you'd love any more information on Profit First or how I can assist you with the cash flow strategies in your business, I would love to talk to you about that too. Have the most beautiful week, and I will talk to you again very soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Light Seekers Lounge podcast. I am so grateful to have you here. If you loved the show, it would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. I would love to continue the conversation with you, so come on over and join the Light Seekers Lounge Facebook group, or come say hi to me on Instagram at annielove.coach. Talk to you soon.